Welcome to Connecting with Corinne, the podcast where I help you find your community one story and connection at a time. I'm your host, Corinne, and each week I explore inspiring conversations that connect us to the world around us, spark new ideas, and help build stronger, more meaningful connections. Whether it's through personal stories, thought-provoking discussions, or shared experiences, we're here to bring diverse perspectives to the table. So let's dive in and start. Welcome everyone to another episode of Connecting with Corinne. And today I am honored to have a friend of mine. Her name is Nicole Pemberton from the Goddess Moves. How are you, Nicole, today?
I am basking in some beautiful sunshine right now. It's coming through, and so loving it.
All right, and I always start off the episodes by just saying how I know you, Nicole. So I was honored to meet you in our little class with Tara Mackenzie Longacre, and we did the Akashic Records training together. And that was, what, a couple of years ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And-
yeah,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So we learned how to read people's Akashic records, and it was just such a beautiful training. We practiced on each other. You've done some other things since then, but I know you have created a community and are creating connections with all the things you are doing now. So let's just hear a little bit about yourself.
Oh gosh, where'd you like me to go from?
Wherever you feel comfortable.
Well, when you talk about connections and community, this is something that is a human, it's infused in our DNA of having community. We don't get through this life without community, without connections. And when it's not there, we definitely feel something is missing. And within my platform, The Goddess Moves, it's an integral part of the healing and the celebration process. Within The Goddess Moves, it's a multidimensional healing sanctuary. And it's really a curated space. And when I say curated, it's a space where it's very intentional about every single person that comes into the space, whether it's through group or through one-on-one. It feels held, feels warm and welcomed, where they can open up to do their soul healing work. And I know you have been through there as well. And so through, whether it's through ancestral healing, through core shamanism, through going into the goddess priestess arts or womb clearing, or going into the Akashic records and really deepening into the soul work, that deep connection, we can witness each other and really hold space for each other in community. And we can also really uncover, unravel, and unveil the connection with ourself and realign to all parts of ourselves, which is deep, which is a deep reconnection as well. If we can look at like how one can get very off balance and off track or confused or frustrated or just contracted with holding on with energy that is not theirs, it's because there's a disconnect, right? There is a disconnect. And when we do this beautiful, deep soul work, even through conversation, even through gathering in a circle or with loved ones or soul sisters and brothers, and share stories or just be together and just be, right? That there's healing in that. There's healing in connecting either with other people. It's a reminder. It's a reminder of reconnection to ourselves, of reconnection to those parts of us that might have separated from. I was anchoring in somewhere in there.
And I love the fact that when you do the, especially one-on-one, you make it feel so safe. And when I worked with you, I've always felt so loved and felt and heard. And it's been so amazing. So I feel like I haven't experienced a group situation with you, but like I said, with the one-on-one, I feel if you're able to create that safety and creating that container, even when we do it virtually and I'm in my room and you're in your space and we're doing this healing together and this work together, I do feel so safe and I feel like I'm in my little womb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not really my room, it becomes my womb. And I feel like it would be so amazing for you to even to create that container for a group setting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I think that as a space holder or a facilitator or wherever people are holding spaces for a group, that's an integral and an essential piece. It's not even a piece, it's just creating the space, especially when we're doing soul work, when we're doing deep healing work, where we're doing this stepping into spaces of spiritual consciousness or any of that stuff where we're really getting to the meat and potatoes of things. You need that because if we don't have that, there isn't a willingness to go deep because the body and the person does not feel safe. And I can't govern your safety. I don't know what you need to feel safe, right? And it's a really careless thing to say to people, you're safe. And you don't understand what you don't have a clue what that person need. That person doesn't have a clue on what the other person needs to feel safe,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because my safety and your safety may be totally different. But in order for us to do the deep healing work, the space needs to be created. So when the person comes in, it's okay, I can breathe. There's a lean in of like, okay, there's a willingness to start to open to the possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
open to the messages from the body, open to the messages from your mind and from the divine, right? We can't receive anything from contraction. If you put your fists together like so and then be like, okay, I want to receive. Well, there's no room. And it's the same thing in holding space. It's like the space needs to be curated in a way so the muscles can relax or the invitation is accepted, right? The invitation is accepted. It's not like a hell no, forget this, bye. Okay. But what if it's like you go in and there's some beautiful fragrance and music and you're greeted with warm faces and it's like this gradual unfolding and within the ritual before
Mm-hmm.
you even know it, oh, you just did a whole bunch. You're like, what just happened here? What just happened here? But the willingness was there to allow yourself to allow one to receive.
And to be vulnerable too. And I think that's part of it too, is just that allowing and allowing everything to come out, but then allowing just to have that vulnerability, be like, okay, I'm able to have that.
Mhm,
And I think it's also I think it's a big thing of being felt, seen, and heard, right?
mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's really important because we all want to be seen. Even though one is maybe more internal or an introvert,
Mm-hmm.
right? When it comes to expressing things that are deeply personal, it definitely to be felt, to be seen, to be heard is such a important thing to just even validation is not even the goal, but there is something there. Be like, wow, you actually like you were there with me. You saw me. And it's not like I didn't not trying to be fixed or anything. It's just allowing that person to allow the wisdom to unveil on its own. I can suggest things, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's you that's making the decisions. It's you that's feeling what you're feeling. It's you that is listening and receiving. And
Mm-hmm.
it's you that gets to go forward from there.
Oh, that's amazing. So, what are some of the things that you do then to work with people?
Within group work, there are workshops where one of my signature workshops is an alchemical movement journey, which is where it can be guided by a theme or it's just a healing space where we go into deep embodiment. And it is a movement journey. You dance, one shakes, it's vocal activation. It's also going into the body. There's meditation and really giving space to what is alive and present at the moment. Because it's an alchemical journey, is because you start in one state and you come out in another state. There is alchemy, there is a transformation, there is a shift, something happens. So within that, there is a beautiful guided meditation to really just ground. We ground at the beginning, we really ground into the body and really start to feel the sensations of the body. And deeply, again, we reconnect. We reconnect to the body's wisdom. You reconnect to the energy. You call in your multidimensional team, your ancestors, your ancestral helping spirits, your guides, God, goddess, whoever, angels, source, whoever that you spiritually that you work with, right? Jesus, ascendant masters, whoever. Tell them to come on in. We give thanks to the land. We acknowledge our indigenous first peoples of the land. We honor that we are guests of the land. We honor the elements, earth, fire, wind. We honor the directions. We really create this space where we understand that it's not just us humans. We integrate the spiritual with our physical realities, and then to tune into the body with breath work, with moving the body as it so desires. And so we go through an intention, we go through what it is that needs to be released. And what needs to be released today can be very different 3 days from now. And so we go through a release process. And then we go through, and then it's like, okay, we've created space in the body. We're forgiving ourselves. We're really seeing, okay, what now? We created the space. Now it's like, all right, what is your promise to yourself? What is your new devotion? Bringing that in, seeing the community around you, getting comfortable with using the voice, expressing the voice, feeling into your gifts, your soul purpose gifts, feeling into the sensation of being seen, being witnessed. And we go through a celebration where it's just like, woo-hoo-hoo. But it's also raising the frequency. So when we raise that frequency, now we get into manifestation vibes. Now we're cooking now. We're cooking with gas. We've grounded, we've released, you've created space. Now we're like, okay, I just finished an event called Manifestation Codes by Nicole Ray. And it's like, yeah, we're in that manifestation codes vibe now. You've raised your vibration. You're feeling good. You're feeling hot. You're feeling like, woo. Okay, now, what do you want to call in? What's your dream? What is your thing? Here's where you get the clarity. Here's where you get the clarity of like whatever's going on. Right? And then we drop down to really to receive sometimes I'll have a drum. Sometimes it's just breath, silence, or if there is a song that wants to come through, and we take time to integrate. Take time to integrate so you understand exactly what you need to truly hear and receive from that journey. So this is an example of a group journey. Now, in a one-on-one space, as I mentioned before, we can get into womb clearing, or womb healing, which is, I refer to it as more as womb clearing, is like we're dealing on an energetic basis. So the intuitive messages from your womb space to help clear energetically. And when we look at the energetic frequencies of the womb, you're looking at sexuality, you're looking at expression, you're looking at the emotions, trauma, just again, reconnection to self. That's the root. And so that's womb clearing. And we can go into ancestral constellation, which is a beautiful, deep dialogue where you're having dialogue with your ancestors. and you're either forgiving, you're clearing, you just maybe want to know more, or there's some peace of mind, there's some peace, there's a resolve. So it's a beautiful connection to really understand your patterns, any of original negative patterns, and to go really deep within and to hear both sides of that ancestor or that person of your lineage, and hear, and you get to speak out what you desire to speak. Inside the Akashic Records, it's a multidimensional mystic experience where a lot of times people go in to get clear on their soul purpose, or to clear past lives or past traumas, or really find, again, this is another one that can find the root, the origin, or just even get more of an understanding of why do I do this, or why does this keep happening, or can I have help with, I want to do X, Y, and Z. Let's create a broader picture and see what spiritually can be of support to that person. And then there is, I feel like I'm missing one thing. Oh, yes. Within readings, there is energy clearing as well, energy activation. So the chakras will start speaking and be like, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? And so we work on clearing the energy as well. So I say that to say, so there's a little something.
There's a little something for everyone.
Something. So there's a little something for whatever it is that one wants to dive into.
That's amazing. And then with your group events, are they open to both men and women? Are they specifically a certain gender?
Some are. I mostly work with women or feminine bodied. We're human. We're humans. I work with humans. But if I'm to get really specific with this, I do work with feminine bodied women mostly. Now, depends on the space that I'm in, right? There are spaces where it's all gender, it's everybody, come on in. There are some, especially in festivals, everybody's there. So I'm not going to exclude anybody. Come on in. Festivals are such a communal space. Let's go. When it comes to some of the specific group work that is designed for feminine bodied humans, then we get a little bit more specific on that. Then it is not open for men. But what if you're a feminine bodied individual and you're trans or you're bi or whatever? I'll be like, come on in. I'm very intentional about, because first of all, listen, I'm a Black woman. I'm a Black female woman. Okay. So I understand what it is to feel not welcomed, and what it is to not feel, go into a space where you're like, the energy feels like, I don't know if I should be here. So when people come into my space, it is really, really important to me that person is treated with dignity, with respect and integrity, and that they feel okay. And that's really, really important to me. And so I'm really clear about, okay, is this a feminine bodied only space? Okay, great. If this is open, if this is a more, come on in. Men, women, let's all dance together. Great. Working one-on-one, I mostly work with feminine bodied individuals just because of the intimate nature of the work, especially with wombs. I can't speak to the male experience. So I can only go so far. I can speak to the feminine experience because I'm a feminine. So I'm really integral of that. I'm like, if I'm supporting someone, I want them to be able to support that person with integrity, with the respect of their human experience. Right? This is where I love, there's beautiful groups out there that are doing the work that are doing that really specific work for men, for multi-gendered individuals, because there is a human lived experience that you cannot fake. And for a person to feel like they are really seen, you need to be seen. Now, that doesn't mean that we all can't get together in all multi shades and everything. We can, and it's beautiful. But sometimes when we want to have specific experience and be able to do specific soul work, you need that support with people that have been where you've been. So when I see organizations like Sacred Sons that are doing this incredible work for men to just to yell, to scream, to box, to do all of that, and just and to be human, for them to cry, to get angry, to melt, and to feel like we need that. I can't do that for them, for men, which is why I specifically work more with feminine bodied women, individuals. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it is about creating that experience and making everyone feel welcome and seen and heard, and creating that space where people can become open and vulnerable. And sometimes it can be hard when it's also going to be more feminine or a certain kind of space. And sometimes it can be really hard due to traumas and everything else that we might have, or beliefs or what have you. It's nice that you have that awareness and that you have your gifts and you know exactly where you want to lie.
Hmm.
So I guess my question for you would be, what is your favorite like modality of all your modalities that you're offering right now? Is there a specific favorite, or do you just love like incorporating it all together?
um, Everything stemmed from movement, and also the question of where did things come from? Why did they do what they did? Or where did this movement come from? Or where did this ritual come from? So it came from there. Is there a favorite? No, but I will say that I love doing experiences when we're in person. Online, we can have that sacred experience as well, but in person will never, it can never be duplicated or replaced. When we get together in person, and when things are just, it's something, there's some magic that happens. And when we're all vibing in that energy, and we're dancing in a circle, or we're breathing, or we get to share, or we're sharing experiences, and somebody is just like, I can so relate, or we have that laugh. That is my favorite. So I love experiences. There's something really, really, really special about that. And those spaces where I'm holding that, it's humbling. It's humbling because I'm responsible. I'm responsible for people in the space in a way when I can feel that shift and I can see it in people's faces. It's so humbling, but it's also so fulfilling. It's like, yes, it's really powerful. Those experiences are, if I had to rank them, would be at the very top. And I also see that online as well. It's really, energy is energy, and we can create that. We can create that experience, whether we're apart or together. When it just happens, it happens, and it's like, what? Like what? Like 2 hours go away. I'm like, where did we go? And we're back. And it's like, wow, what an experience. Yeah.
Mhm. I love it. I think you're right. Like having that kind of group experience and having those kind of connections, because you can do it online, but I feel like like you said, energy is energy, but I feel like being immersed into that energy with everyone around you is a little bit, it's so different, I think, compared to just doing that online energy where you see everyone through Zoom, right? Because half of us are kind of checked out, some of us aren't listening, but I feel like when you're in that group space, you can't check out. You are in it, you're immersed in it. And yeah, to have those kind of aha moments, but also being like, I can feel what maybe this person's feeling, or I can relate to how they're feeling. And I think it's also getting that, I guess it's almost like that plug-in where it's like all this surge of energy from everyone else kind of kicks in, and you all are able to lift up, which I think is pretty amazing.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then you're able to be in that higher vibe. So then you can do the manifesting and all the healing and allowing things to just let go.
Mhm.
And just to know that you're with a group of people who are all kind of going through that similar experience.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
you find that you have a lot of regular clients that come back for a lot of your group experiences?
Depends on where I am. It just depends on where I am because they can happen locally, they can happen internationally, which I'm fortunate to be able to say. It really depends. Those that come back or those that are newly introduced to me, the intention is always the same. I'm happy you're here and I see you, I honor you and I respect you, and I'm going to pour as much as I can into the experience, into that person or into that group. That is my intention, to really to pour in and to give my whole heart and energy and presence to who's in front of me
Mhm.
and honor each and every person in the room.
I love it, Nicole.
Mhm.
And so just going back, you're talking about international work. Are you offering retreats internationally, or do you just go over internationally and just offer different courses overseas?
The online work, I have a group right now, and we've got people from all over. We're spanning to South Africa, to Canada, to the States. When we work online, we have the reach to go international, to cross borders, and to connect with people. Like the internet is something else that really emphasizes that we are global citizens.
Mhm.
Through the online work, that's where it becomes international. I've been fortunate to the international retreats are coming, but been fortunate to be invited to specific events that allow me to travel outside of Canada, and invited to speak at and do workshops at the Goddess Conference in Glastonbury for the second year in a row. And that's really exciting. And so every and other opportunities come up. And we do online conferences where this is also an international opportunity because you have speakers from different parts of the world, and we're gathering and we're sharing on this platform. When used in a respectful and integral way, the social media can be an absolute beautiful microphone for ideas and expressions, and a way to really connect with through the frequency of love. I'll stay with that intention, whether it's to make people smile or to bring people together, whatever it is. That's how it gets international, whether it's through the online work, whether it's through things like this, where we get to have these conversations and we don't know the reach. We know the net is cast out wide. We have these platforms that can do that. We just do, and we release it to the world and trust that the right person is going to receive that message. And it may be so powerful that it can change a life. It could save a life. I think that's the power of, even I speak of this start from an artist point of view, of like when we create something and then it's something that's in our mind, it's in our body, and it's just like it's percolating and we need to get it out. It needs to go out, and we don't know after it's out of our control. It's done. We created it, we did it. Here you go. But it's not until when people come back and then they say, I saw this, or you created that, and oh my gosh, this happened. And I just want to say thank you. That's how powerful that's how powerful our ideas, our creations, when it comes from an integral place, and we gift it, and it's like a gift from our soul out into the world. You don't know who it's going to affect. You don't know who it's going to impact, but it might just change somebody's life in a good way. It might save a life. That's how powerful it is.
And that's why I created this podcast, was not just so that people could connect with others and to find their tribes and to find their community. And I guess through me to find it through to other people like yourself, because I can only offer so much. But then there's so many amazing people that I've met in my life that I've been so grateful for, like yourself. And I'm just, like I said, reaching out and saying, I love you all. And people have, you have changed my life and helped me with a little bit of healing. And I want to share that and say, hey, if you listen to this podcast or you listen to this episode and what you or any of my guests are saying and they resonate with you, then please reach out to them so that they're able to go through the womb clearings and the healings and through stuff that I might not be able to provide, but other people can.
Mm-hmm.
Or even just hear that takeaway and be like, oh, I resonate with that. That's amazing. You said something that was a little bit of a tidbit, and okay, I can take that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or I can find my own tribe. You talked about the men and having their, what was it called?
Sacred sons.
The sacred sons,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that men are like, oh, okay, well, I can't necessarily work with Nicole, but I could go and find who these sacred sons are and to work with them. So I think that's really very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been the purpose of this podcast, was just to say, okay, my superpower is to connect people to others. Because everyone would come up to me like, hey, do you know this? Can you help me? Or do you know somebody? And I'm like, actually, I do. I do know somebody. So
Mm-hmm.
this was the whole reason behind this podcast. And like you said, creating those webs and casting it out and just saying, who will respond to this
Mm-hmm.
and resonate with somebody. And it's so cool because the nice thing about this podcast, I have amazing people in my life from all over, different themes, different areas. And this is the best part about it, is like there is really no themes other than connection and really the connection and community part. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're into the woo-woo stuff and you want to get into that healing, we have that. And I have so many people like yourself who can help. But then there's other people in my life that are not into the woo-woo stuff, but are doing something completely different that can resonate.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so much fun to just do this, but at the same time, I'm just so blessed and honored to have people like you in my life
Mm-hmm.
that are offering things for mostly women or that embodiment of women,
Mm-hmm.
and to create that sacred space. And that womb clearing is, I have to say, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It helped clear a lot of stuff that came up. And even for a woman who hasn't had kids and hasn't had the trauma with the womb as much as other women who've had kids have had, it's still been a very, you don't realize how much we hold.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate. I receive the love, and I'm so happy to hear it was so healing for you. I didn't know either. I didn't know either. My relationship with my womb was very external. And the only internal part about it was when my bleed would come every month. And it was not an occasion I look forward to because it was really painful. It was very painful. Our society, we just have to Advil, Tylenol, like medicate through it and try and put one foot in front of the other and try your best to get through the day. And then when the day is done, get some tea, hot water towel, and some ice cream, and be like, "Don't talk to me for the rest of the day. Where's my blanket? On my movie? I'm done." Or a hot bath. There was just many nights like that. And so my relation, and I'm an active person. I would always say, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this because I got too much to do. And it would literally stop me in my tracks. And I would fight it. I would fight it so much. And it really wasn't until a couple things speared this deep dive and I guess quest for knowledge. There's a few things that really were catalysts for that. But I remember talking, I was coming out of a women's circle. It was when I first started going to women's circles, and I didn't have a car at the time. So one of the girls was just like, "Does anybody need a lift? I'm going that way." And I was just like, yes, please. Really, I'm like, thank you. So we're having conversation, and she said something, and she was talking about how, like, the sacredness of women and our blood and everything. And this was all new to me. And I thought, like, okay, yeah, that's great for you, not for me, because she was saying about how our blood, it's a special time and it's so beautiful. We have this ritual. You're supposed to take all this time, a couple of days off. I don't work on my period. I do this, I do that. And I have no pain, no pain. You're not supposed to have any pain. It was like you a unicorn. Like, good for you. That's not my reality. I'm just listening to this and I'm just like, yeah, okay. That's you, boo, but that's not me. And I started to really think about that. And I started to ask people, I'm like, do you have pain when you bleed? And it was just a question. I was like, do you have pain? Some people said yes, some people said no. And I'm like, the ones that said no, I'm like, what do you do? And some people didn't know. And other people was like, oh, I do this, 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 this. I was like, how come I have pain all the time? It was just that it started to be that exploration of, well, how come people, some, is it just genetics? I thought, oh, it's just that was just them. They're the lucky ones. I really didn't know. And I started to realize there's no fault to the experience, to the knowledge that we're given, especially in school where they teach us about the body and all of that, and what our parents, the information that they give us. No fault to what they have. But at the same time, it's like, man, we really were separated from, we're separated. We've got the anatomy of the body, the anatomy, the scientific processes and everything. We've got something to remedy. If you have pain, we have this pharmaceutical, we have this surgery procedure, you have this very cold medical, here you go, we'll fix you. Or you just live with it. That's the woman's process. We can't do anything for you. We've been separated into that. We've been separated from the remedies from our grandmothers or great grandmothers. We've been separated from the connection with the land. We've been separated from the sacredness of our bodies. We've been separated from the energetic properties of our bodies. We've been separated from the honoring times to slow down. We've been separated from a deeply rooted way to really listen to the body and honor the process when a woman bleeds, when a woman goes through pregnancy, when a woman gives birth, when a woman goes through the postpartum time, when a girl transitions to a young woman, when a mother moves into her wise queen, right? We've been separated from the deep rooted processes and rituals and connections. I was like, wow, you know, it's really interesting. One can get really pissed off. But if we look at just what it makes you go, huh, okay. I didn't realize that until I started getting into the spirituality, into the goddess arts, and into like even a deeper exploration of movement as a healing resource. We're not taught that unless you come from a very high consciousness vibe family and all of that. Maybe you were, but mostly we're not taught this.
Yeah. And I think we even lack that celebration. Like I know some people say that they have period parties for girls, and when they get their period, they have these parties. And I never had that. I started my period when I was 10. So for me, it was terrifying of what's happening to me. And I was the first, I think, of all my friends. And it was like I had that conversation with my mom, but it wasn't the most comfortable. And like it was painful. And I've always had painful periods as well. So I can totally relate to all the things you're saying, like heavy bleeding, always heavy bleeding. And I track my period now a few days before. I'm craving chocolate the whole time. When's it coming?
Mhm, 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 mhm.
I'm not just eating my feelings out. Well, usually, but at the same time, when's it coming? And then I'll look at my little tracker. And it could come between this day and this day, or these few days.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
coming. It's coming. Now I'm getting hot flashes about a couple days beforehand, and there's other things that are happening. Now I'm like, okay, this
Mhm.
is
Yeah,
happening. This is
yeah.
great.
And
But
what's
you know, I think since doing like some of the womb healing, I think there's just that more awareness and
mm,
great and knowing that it's okay. You know, when I would work out and stuff, a couple days just before your period, I can't lift up anything.
mhm,
10 pounds is really heavy.
yeah,
And I didn't realize until I guess it was a little bit of the womb healing and a little bit of stuff like from social media and saying like, hey, if you're working out and stuff, you're gonna have this phase of everything is gonna be super heavy for you. And I would see it like when I worked out at the gym and stuff, I'm like, oh, I can't even do like 20 pounds. What do you mean? And then I'd be like, 10's really heavy. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I see what's happening. And then I again look at my track, I'm like, all right, guess that's what's happening. It's coming. And then as soon as like it starts, then it's okay. Now I can go back to the 20 pounds again. Fine.
Mhm,
I'm in pain and I don't want to. And I give myself that grace as well for a few couple days off. And then it's like, all right, let's get back into the
yeah.
go, go, go. But I think it is like the cycles of when we go through like the new moon and the full moon. Full moon, there's like a whole bunch of energy usually, and it's the time we want to do the things. And then the new moon is very much of we are burning, burn the shit, let things just settle
Mhm.
and start again. And it's just like that quiet time.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
I feel like our phases are kind of like the moon phases of there's the quiet times, there's those energetic times, and honoring that and just being like, we can't go, go, go all the time. That's just not in us.
As much as we want to.
As much as we want to, well, I mean, because we're in such a society of go, 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 right? And even as a yoga instructor, I always joke with people. The joke is people don't like yin yoga because it's very slow and it's very mindful and working with that breath and quieting the monkey mind of the thoughts and just breathing and just being in a pose for quite a long time,
Mhm,
right? Whereas other people want to move from one pose to another, and, and yin is very much you're hanging out here. This is we're gonna go deeper. You're
yeah.
gonna stay here for really about 5 minutes. And some people that 5 minutes can be a very long time, especially if it's a pose they don't like.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So, but I mean, we are so go, go, go. And sometimes we just need to have that stillness and to honor that and just to say it's okay. It's okay to Netflix and chill. It's okay to just be
Mhm.
that quiet time and stillness.
Yeah, yeah. That's why Shavasana is such a powerful and challenging thing. And when I say Shavasana, I mean the yogic term for lying down on the floor.
Yes.
Just arms out,
Just the
legs
arms out, you're sleeping.
out.
I'm like, okay, it's now the sleeping pose, and it relates to corpse pose. So you're just there and you just are still. And I
Mhm,
think for the hardest part is I still tell people, like, try not to move, try not to scratch, try not to move. Once you're in that pose, just stay.
mhm,
And I never see people to stay. Well, it is hard because it's very hard to not move, not to scratch, not to think about some things, and then just having that relaxing time.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But it's amazing too, because I think it's just our bodies do need that. Because
Yeah.
even in our sleep, sometimes we're moving around, our minds keep going. Some of us can't sleep very well.
Mhm,
So it's just a time to just go inwards and to allow ourselves to relax.
mhm. Absolutely.
Mhm.
The beautiful part, even after at the end of a yoga class, to integrating. For a woman's menstrual cycle, the couple days before, that is the body preparing itself, a few days before, not just a couple. The luteal phase is really the body preparing to slow down. And when I say luteal phase, the menstrual cycle is governed by four phases. And The luteal phase is that last phase before we bleed. And so our phases are equated to seasons. We can equate them to the spaciousness between the moons. We can equate them to the spaciousness of between a 25, 27, 28-day cycle. But that preparation is really important. It really helps to set us up to have more easeful bleeding time. But what happens is that, just as you said, we're at the gym, you're lifting and like, why is this so heavy? Like, what's going on? It's like the body is signaling, I want something more gentle right now. I'm getting ready to slow down. And integrating that, even if, especially if mothers out there, you may not have that space to slow down if you've got young ones or just a lot of activity in your home. But we can carve out that space as much as that is the capacity. We can tell our families and be like, listen, mommy's bleeding right now. I'm not going to be as energetic when as soon as, and I say this with an awareness that it's not like that for everyone. And I also say that with an invitation of looking at, okay, when you're bleeding, when can you carve out space? Or know that, okay, my schedule's not gonna be as full at this time. Or you go to work, you do your thing, you come home and say, honey, you need to prepare dinner. I need you to help me and support me because to honor that physical process. You do the same thing for your partner, vice versa. You need help, I need help, let's go. It's how can we create that? How can we create that for ourselves with the people around us? It starts to become an integral part of life. It's honored. It's honored in a way. I know some families that are just like, you know what? Or some tribes, they know mommy's bleeding and they know she's resting right now. For the next few days, she's resting and can I bring you a cup of tea or whatever? Like I said, it's not for, not everybody can do that, but at the same time, we can create the space. We can create it in a way that works for that individual, for that family, however. So, and we're doing it. We're doing it. I hear more and more, it's not a shameful conversation anymore. The best was when I saw on the Disney Channel, there was a young girls show and they're like, do you have a tampon? Oh yeah, I got one in here. It was like grade 5, grade 6, and they're like, tampon buddies. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is on the Disney Channel. I'm like, wow, okay. So we're doing it. We're starting to make this process of our body less shameful and more respectful. Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great that Disney's on board
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your upcoming programs that you have coming up?
I have an upcoming online event, 10-day online event called We Are the Medicine. And this is going to be a free online event. And this was really inspired by one of my Temple Body Arts sister, Sabrina. She had her online event last year, which I'm grateful to blessed to be a part of. And there was so many beautiful medicinal rituals and talks and things, and she really inspired me. And actually this title, We Are the Medicine, has been floating around within my body, within my mind for a while now. It's been floating around for months, and it really came forward. It was just like bing 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 at the end of the year, and I was like, okay, we got to do something with this. It's going to be, we're really talking about, we're integrating the goddess arts, the core shamanism, holistic knowledge, spiritual knowledge, and embodiment, and really exploring what it is to be like reactivate and reconnect to the power that is within us, the power within our voice, within our bodies, within our wombs, within our gifts, and within the plants, and a lot of the internal and external resources that we can tap into. And so we're going to dive into that through the 10-day event. Space to register for that is going to be opened up on spring equinox. So, yes. So that is the next thing coming up.
And when is the 10-day event happening?
It's going to happen end of April.
Mm.
So
amazing.
yeah.
And can we find that on your website?
Yeah, it will be up
Register?
there once all the details are out. It'll be definitely on the website and all the medias and the webs and things.
That sounds amazing. And so for this 10-day event, is it full days, or what is this looking like for people so that they have an idea?
We'll have a session in the morning. So we'll have a ritual in the morning, and then we'll have the guest speaker come on after in the afternoon. The times haven't been solidified just yet, but that is the map that I have in my head. So there is a theme. So for example, returning to our roots, really grounding in and understanding our roots and how that serves us and supports us in our everyday. And so there's definitely going to be rituals and space for us to connect and share, and then also to have another beautiful embodied soul to come and share their wisdom and connect with others as well.
That sounds amazing and so beautiful. And you said it was a free event?
Yes.
Oh, great. And then if people can't make all the events, will they be recorded? And so
Yeah.
people can access them later? How will that work?
Yeah, they will be recorded, and people can purchase the replays to have lifetime access to them, but they will be free for a limited time. There'll be a replay portal, so if you missed, let's say you signed up and you can't make all the days live, that's okay. We'll have replays set up so you can still be in the mix with everything.
Oh, that's amazing. So I will put the links about that in the show notes. So don't worry, everyone will get links to you, Nicole. Is there anything else you want to just talk about before you go?
Mm,
To this conversation.
I think I'll just anchor in on this. There's a lot that is pulling at our attention. There's a lot in the energy field that is really divisive. And the invitation and the message is to notice where your energy is going. Is that supporting you? Is it supporting you? And to become even more discerning and intentional about what are we contributing to? Are we contributing to harmony or chaos? And I know it's hard out there because there's a lot, but we can still make choices that can affect our communities, our family household, how we treat one another. We make those choices where our dollars are being put. We make those choices by how we talk to one another, how we receive one another, how we hear and feel and connect with one another. Are we building a society from an ego or from the heart? And I still believe the good will always prevail. It may not be easy, but that is where the truest and most powerful frequency and of love resides. And so I leave you, I ground you and anchor you with this thought, with this consciousness. because we can choose every day. We can choose in every moment. And so stay safe out there, friends. Guard your energy in a way that it's not like a fortress, but really protect your energy. Protect your peace. Know your boundaries, but also know that when you give, when you pour from a space of, I say intention a lot, but I'm not sure what other word to use at this moment, but when you pour from that space that is wanting to serve for the good of humanity, and that's a good place to start. So I say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Corinne, for creating this space, for all the beautiful work that you are doing to put your footstep and your imprint forward of uplifting humanity through these beautiful conversations. And thank you, everyone, for listening and for also doing your part in uplifting humanity in your own way. So we're appreciative that we get to dance this dance with you and walk this path with you. Thank you.
Oh, it's so beautiful, Nicole. Thank you. So where can people find you? Because if they resonate with all that you've said today and want to work with you in either one-on-one or in a group, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on the socials. Just type in The Goddess Moves. I'm pretty straightforward and simple like that. The only private container that I have online is on Facebook, is The Goddess Moves Temple, which is a private temple. Just click in. There'll be an invite to come in. And you can find me also on my website, www.thegoddessmoves.space. Yes, .space. And you can find
And
me.
I will make sure to add all the links to your socials and your website on the show notes so people can click and find you there as well. So it'll make it super easy. Well, thank you so much for coming and for speaking with me today and having this wonderful discussion. It is always so good to see you, my friend. So everyone stay connected and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I hope today's conversation sparked something new and reminded you of the power of connection. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with others and continue spreading the message of unity across all walks of life. Until next time, stay connected.